Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We give you very informative information on commercial real estate and building your next commercial real estate property. Today's topic is on infrastructure of your land, of your property. It's a very important topic, so don't miss out. First point is there an access point to your property? An access point is basically a driveway, or do you actually have access on the street? So let's say if you have two cross streets and your property is in the middle of those cross streets, those of course those type of properties are ideal, but not every property will be right in front of the street. So for certain businesses, it's important to know where is the nearest airport, where is their nearest transportation, or are their residents closer to you. So all of that information is important, and how you can obtain that information is what I'm going to get into. As you can see, we are looking at a boundary survey. Now, in a boundary survey, you will see your cross streets, you will see your boundaries of your land. This specific land is about 36 acres. It's on a corner of US Highway 190 and US Highway 79. Now, what you don't see in a survey is what is around you. How you can look at things which are around you is on the corner of US Highway 36 and 79, and I have put that information on here. Now, looking at the survey, let me take you. So this is our land right here, US 79, and this is 190, which is also known as 36, right? Now I will take this little yellow guy and drop him off here, and right opposite of me is, I believe, to be a motel. I could be wrong. So this is the land right here. I do see that there's a big turn over here, so obviously nowhere close to here you can have a proposed driveway. Now, I do see an existing driveway, which is actually good, because usually you will not have a driveway this close to your turning lane, basically. So we would have to definitely check with TxDOT if this driveway would still work, or we would have to propose another driveway. Go back to street satellite view, actually. Is any other gas stations near me? And if there is, because I'm building a truck stop, if there is, how big is the truck stop? So, or a gas station. Let's see if we can find something. Here you go, convenience store. So I'd like to see how big this convenience store is, because of course we are trying to pick or build something that's bigger. I don't see any major competition, because we are looking to build something that's going to be 9,000 square foot. Looking at this building, it's no more than 4,000 square foot, if it is 4,000. It has 3 MPDs, 4 cars, and then I do see some MPDs for the trucks as well. Just one there, actually, and then 2 diesels. So that's how you can quickly look at Google Maps site. This site is off of Beltway 8 and Mesa. So Beltway 8 happens to be a busy street. As you can see, there's a lot of commercial development. I see storages. There's a lot going on here. Now, my property is right over here, right? So when I was looking at the property, This is the property with the detention. So again, I see that detention and I see that McDonald's that's called out on the survey, and that's the property. So I will again drop this little guy right in front of my property. And what do I see on the eye level is that there is a motel that's built. Well, that tells me that the satellite view is older, and of course this motel is newer. That's why it was not catching on the satellite view, which means I have less room to do what I need to do. The first thing I need is an updated survey which shows that motel, which is not being shown here. And then of course you can see all of the area. I see a lot of residential. So that's how you can do your initial just investigation on the property. Of course, another really helpful way to look at your property is going there in person. I have so many developers who actually go visit the site before they even put in any offer. They like to see what's around, what's in the area, what they may want to put there, what's missing, or if there's something like more retail needed. The next topic is there sanitary sewer or water available? How many sites, especially on a larger scale? You guys just saw that truck stop where there was probably no water or no sanitary available. If there's no sanitary available, you will require a septic tank. Septic is, of course, a price of its own based on how big of a development you're doing. That's how big you may need your septic to be. Of course, the septic designers are separate from civil engineers, so getting those septic designers involved in the beginning is also important to engage and understand your development cost on that septic. Now, the water line, if you're building in the area, I showed you the first area that was not developed at all, and as opposed to the second area, which is fully developed. In the fully developed area, the odds are that you do have water and sanitary available. Now, it's not always the case, but majority of the time. Now, in an area which I showed you on the first site, there will possibly be either no water or a separate water utility provider that you would need to reach out to. So in that case, what we did was we called the city, we asked for information, the city gave us the information on where the water, what the water utility company is. We contacted them and found out that there is a water line that is in front of the adjacent property, which we'll need to bring to ours. So that means there's boring involved, so we'll need to bring that line towards our property and build that. This information is very important. How you can obtain this information on sanitary sewer or water line is one, through DDR, which is due diligence report or a summary. You can also obtain that information on your topo survey, but topo surveys sometimes will show where your inlets are. However, you do need to confirm if you can tie into those or not. So obtaining that information from a good civil engineer or having a good architectural design team on board who can obtain that information with their group of engineers, and scheduling that city meeting or calling them and finding out that information as well. Third and last and very important point on infrastructure is their detention required? And if it is required, what is the capacity that is required for your land and your development? Oh my God, I can name you guys so many different scenarios where that issue has came up on projects. So one of the issues, which is by far one of the worst issues, and I think it happens maybe once in a blue moon, We have a property for our clients, and that specific property is a 1.5 acre land, and then it's part of a bigger development. Behind that development is a big detention pond that ties into the entire development, and there's also a sanitary right next to it that you need to bring all the way to the front. Now, you only own the parcel that is in front. That's where a good contract comes into play. You have to, when you're purchasing a small parcel and the utilities are not available, you have to put certain language on your contract so your project does not get delayed. They have to provide you with that easement or that sanitary line, or I would say storm line, storm inlet, and likewise for the sanitary for this specific project that I'm talking about. The second scenario that actually came up today was we're doing a development for a multifamily. We had proposed 0.3, 0.4 acre just for on-site detention. Turns out that the project is requiring more detention. What do? The DDR was done, everything was done, but when you started doing calculations, you figure out that there's more required or needed. Now, in order for that to happen, again, that's a scenario that doesn't usually come up, but if it does, you have to have a good engineering team and a good architectural team to resolve those issues for yourself and see how you can accommodate either on-site detention, or you might have to do some underground detention. Detention is a very important topic in commercial real estate. I cannot stress on that enough. We've talked a lot about due diligence report, so I'll show you a little bit about what a due diligence summary report looks like, so that way you know what we were discussing. So this is a due diligence summary for a project that we are doing. The very first thing you will see, which is permitting, where you need to get permitting. There has been so many cases where we find out that one of the entities or officials the plans did not get submitted to. Because we're a design build company, there are some times that we will get projects just for construction. Just about 2 years ago, I had a project where the architect only submitted the drawings to the county and failed to submit the drawings for the civil site development and to the MUD, which required us to stop the project in the middle and had to get that approved prior to us starting the project. That affects your schedule, your money, all of it. So this is basically discussing where your plans need to be submitted. If you have MUD, there is MUD in this case. There needs to be a MUD annexation done. And then if your property is requiring platting, so it does mention here that this property is not platted, so it will need to get platted. Platting generally takes anywhere on the minimum 3 months all the way to 6 months. So the sooner you get started on the platting, the better it is. And of course, depending on which city you're in, it could take longer. So you want to start on that right away. Easements, access, we discussed accesses, so which was our topic number 1. So this report tells you, okay, what can be the sizes of the driveways and how big they can be on the maximum, and what needs to be the radius and things like that, how much the distance needs to be. So we talked about all of that. Is there building setbacks? We also talked about that in our previous video. So you are getting all of that information. Is there off-street parking available, because in a lot of the city areas you have a smaller site, so there is off-street parking available, which can be accounted for in your parking calculations. Now, going into lighting, going into sanitary, we talked about sanitary today, we talked about water today. Telephone line is also another one. You want to make sure that the telephone is available. Is the electrical service provider. If there is gas available or not, that's also important information to know. And here are all of your contacts. So landscaping requirements. We also talked about the landscaping requirements. Signs, we talked about that as well, roof signs, all of the signs information, and then of course, last but not least, pipelines and wetlands. So you all see how much due diligence covers. So you do this in the beginning of your project, then that way your project can be a lot smoother. This can be done by us at Max Designers, or you can find other companies who do due diligence. You are investing into a property that is costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Due diligence reports are not that expensive. They're anywhere under $5,000, and you can gain a lot of knowledge and save a lot of time and save a lot of money in the long term. Thank you so much for watching our videos and supporting our mission to provide more knowledge to our developers, to our brokers, and our partners. We are here to assist and help provide you guys knowledge on your next commercial real estate property. And our next video will consist of discussing different types of loans, which is very useful for our developers, and what type of loans you should be thinking of to apply for. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to our channel so you can get some amazing information on your next real estate property.